Now, when you watch wrestling, there's moments where it's time to just put everything down, put the phone down, put the pen down, and just take in the moment. And that's what this whole thing was for me. Next up, we get this video package. Very well done video package. Just highlighting Edge's career. They showed like a moment of him talking to Bret the Hitman Hart in like a studio setting, kind of like a Arsenio Hall, Jerry Springer, the older type of shows. Looks like it was a Canadian show. Sally, remember Sally with her big ass glasses? Those type of shows. So Edge is in the crowd. He talks to Bret the Hitman Hart. He asks him a question. I didn't even understand what he asked him. Then it just documents his career. You have all these superstars talking about how much of an impact Edge had on the WWE, how much he poured his heart and soul into it, how great he is. And he is. 25 years of Edge. After this video package, before the video package, we also had some of the superstars. They did like a live thing. So you had John Cena, Natalia, Sheamus, Charlotte Flair, Sami Zayn. They all did like a favorite Edge moment type thing. So this was like a good chunk of the show setting up Edge's match for later that night. Now, is it his last match? We don't know. He did say it's the last match of his contract. So we're going to see what happens after that. We're going to talk about that later on. But that leads us into the main event. We have Edge versus Sheamus. Now, when you watch wrestling, there's moments where, especially if you're doing like a podcast thing, where it's time to just put everything down, put the phone down, put the pen down, and just take in the moment. And that's what this whole thing was for me. I put the pen down, put the phone down, I took in the moment. Sheamus comes out for his entrance, and then we have like the little bit of silence, and then all of a sudden Metal Angus hits. You think you know me? Out comes Edge, big pop because he's in his hometown. He does the thing, gets the fireworks shooting off, goes around, kisses Beth Phoenix, and he gets in the ring. He's getting just this mega pop from the crowd. It's just one of those moments that you just wanted to soak everything in. Before the match starts, the crowd is just pouring their support to Edge, and it was just, I don't know, an awesome moment. And then the match also, I would say, lived up to the moment. It was just one of those matches. Edge, 51 years old, doing sharpshooters, doing spears outside the ring, top rope cross bodies. Sheamus, he held his own. He actually was a good dance partner for Edge. He was very believable. He did like a 10 beats of the Baldwin. So yeah, there was a moment I want to touch on that real quick. There's a moment he does 10 beats of the Baldwin. The crowd's booing, of course, because this is their hometown hero. This is Edge. You can't do that to him. And he just does 10. You know how Sheamus, he gets crazy with the 10 beats, and he does way more than 10. So he just does 10. Edge, he turns around, he slaps Sheamus for some reason, and then Sheamus like, all right, puts him back, and then just continues to beat the shit out of Edge, and he just keeps going. We get the crowd; they're just like going crazy because he's beating the shit out of Edge. Edge, he's still defiant. He goes for a spear. It's countered by the rising knee from Sheamus into the bro kick. How many people have Sheamus put down with the bro kick? I want to tell you a quick story here. If you play WWE 2K, back on the Xbox 360 days, Sheamus, that bro kick, that was like the most dangerous move in the game. I'm forgetting what year it was, but that was the most dangerous kick in the game. First of all, he can hit it out of nowhere. He got his little bar up so quick, he'd hit you with a bro kick and you were done. That move was dangerous. Like, how many people have kicked out of the bro kick? Well, he hit Edge as clean as can be. Edge kicks out because this is his hometown. This is possibly his retirement match. This is not happening tonight. Edge kicks out of the bro kick, and he hits a spear for the victory. What a match. Edge, if it is his final match, this was a hell of a match. Again, 51 years old, doing things that people half his age can't do. This was just all around A plus. But we'll forget about it next week. But it could be a match of the year candidate. So there is also that. Now, I touched on it. Is this Edge's last match? So post match, Edge, he did address the crowd. He said, this is the last match on his contract. Around the rumor mill, they say that Edge's contract is actually over in October, but he doesn't have like another scheduled match until October, so that this thus was the last match before his contract expires. So it leads us to the question: is Edge going to go to AEW? Is Edge going to come back and do another contract? Is it just him saying, I don't know, maybe I'm not coming back, or maybe I am coming back. We'll just see what they do. So is it him saying he'll be back in WWE after his new contract? Like maybe he takes some times off, comes back at Royal Rumble, sets up something for WrestleMania. I don't know who that's going to be. He's already pretty much done everything that he can do. He's been champion multi times over. He's not going to beat Roman Reigns. He's not going to take a spot at the main event of WrestleMania away from Cody or LA Knight. So where do you go with him if you keep him in WWE? We've already seen the Randy Orton thing, so we don't want to do that again. There's not really much he can do. Maybe John Cena comes back, does a match with him. Maybe you do like a one more thing with Rey Mysterio. I'm not really interested in that. So you see, there's not really much you can do with Edge. So this could very well be his last match. Now you got some people who are upset with that. Oh, he didn't go out at WrestleMania. He should go out at WrestleMania. But again, there's not that one guy that he can just go out there, put on the WrestleMania match, do the curtain like a la Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker, or Shawn Michael or Undertaker Triple H. Like there's just not Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. I can go on. There's just not the moment that you can create where he goes out at WrestleMania, he wrestles a hell of a match with someone, and then that's the flowers, the end of an era type situation. So maybe this was like the perfect send off for Edge. It was in his hometown. He definitely said to the crowd, I will not wrestle in front of you again. Like, that's for sure. And he also said, I don't have another year left in me to wrestle. So we will see where it goes there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is Edge going to come back? Is Edge going to go to AEW? Is Edge going to just be like a retired in ring? He's retired. Maybe he just does like behind the scenes stuff, or maybe he just rides off into the sunset like the Undertaker did. But I did talk about AEW, and I might as well go ahead and talk about it because when the contract expired, everybody started immediately saying, hey, let's send Edge over to AEW. But I may be in the minority here, but I actually don't think that Edge should go to AEW. Number one, the style that AEW does, it's not for Edge. Now I know you got like Chris Jericho and Sting. They're doing their thing. They're older. They're putting on matches, but AEW is for like the 6-star bangers, or melty bangers, 7-star bangers, all that. That's what AEW is for. I don't think Edge needs to go over there and do those types of matches. I don't want to see Edge getting a Canadian Destroyer or even trying one. I think he did actually try one a couple months ago. But anyway, I digress on that. The other thing that I have to say about that is Christian. They say, oh, he can go join his best friend in Christian, and they can rejoin Edge and Christian's as a tag team. Maybe get another run at the titles. Do Edge and Christian versus FTR. Do, I don't know, the Bullet Club. You could do the Hardys because they are in AEW. Do the Hardys. Do the Young Bucks. Edge and Christian versus all these teams. But to that I say, Christian is on a meteoric run right now as a heel. So why would we stifle what Christian is doing? First, and he's building up Luchasaurus. Let's not forget that. But why would we stifle the best run of Christian's heel work here for an Edge and Christian tag team? Doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you're doing what you're doing as a solo guy, why would you go and do the tag team? Seems like we're going backwards there. Like, yeah, there would be some good matches. Now, let's say he comes out, he does a solo run. You could see like Edge versus CM Punk, Edge versus, I don't know, Kenny Omega, maybe Edge versus Malachi Black. That would be something interesting. So there are some opponents for him over there, new opponents. Edge versus Sting. Does anybody want to see that? That might be interesting. Edge versus Jericho. Maybe Edge versus Sting is like a money match. Now that I'm thinking about it, but I don't think he should be shackled to Christian if he goes to AEW. But I still don't think that Edge and AEW would be a good fit. It's just not. It's not a good fit for a 51-year-old guy. And again, I know Sting, Jericho, they are still doing it, but doesn't mean Edge needs to go do it too. Oh, and the whole neck thing, right? He does have the neck thing, so that's another caveat to the story. Matt Hardy, he could do Matt Hardy. Throw that out there. But let me know in the comments what you think is next for Edge. Do you think he goes to AEW? Do you think he goes back to WWE? Do you think he's actually done? These are some questions that we need to see play out. If he is done, he was one of my favorites, so thank you, Edge.